Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'll be discussing the battery performance on the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3. And by the way, this is the Snapdragon 650 version and not the MediaTek version, which was released by Xiaomi a few months back. Okay, the screen is, by the way, 5.5 inches of Full HD 1080p. Now let's have a look and see which version of Android the phone is running, and also which version of MIUI the phone is running. The phone, as you can see guys, the basic core specs, a Redmi Note 3 along with 5.1.1 Lollipop, one of the latest security patch levels, a MIUI 7.2. This is the Chinese ROM guys, it's a stable version. I will also be flashing the international ROM at some point. Probably will do a video on that as well. And like I said, it's running a Snapdragon 650, which is the hexa-core 64-bit chipset guys, at a maximum clock speed of 1.8 gigahertz. The phone has 3 gigs of RAM and basic specs of the phone. Okay, now let's get into gallery guys, and this is where I've been collecting stats for the past couple of weeks, ever since I've started living with the phone. Some basic benchmarks, as you can see. Like I said, Qualcomm Snapdragon 650 with the single core comparison along with the devices, you can see pretty decent performance, and also the multi-core performance is pretty decent there as well, not too bad considering that it's a hexa-core and not an octa-core chipset. Okay, so now let's move on from this guys. So when I got the phone out of the box, straight away I had the MIUI 107 meg system OTA update. Now I was pretty surprised because of all the things I had heard from different people. They were always having a go at Xiaomi, and they were like B-class brand, and they don't update their devices and stuff. Even though I know the phone is running, like I said, Lollipop 5.1.1, but I've been very surprised by the way these OTA updates have been coming in thick and fast. Like every other week I've been getting OTA updates. But anyways, which I will show you in just a moment once we go through further down. But here, as soon as I got the phone out of the box, I had a 107 meg update, and I'm not going to go through all these guys because obviously it will take me forever. But if you want to pause the video, you're more than welcome to. You can have a look and see at the change logs should you wish. Okay, so I carried on guys using the phone after fully charging it to 100%, and the battery went down to 48%, as you can see in the video. And this was, by the way, purely on 4G LTE, because the phone has a massive 4000 mAh battery. So the very first thing I wanted to test was how would this stand for 4G LTE. Lots of my followers and subscribers, they often ask me about my 4G LTE performances on battery, and most people are out and about, so they're more concerned about the 4G LTE battery performance as compared to Wi-Fi, because on Wi-Fi most phones perform well anyway. So that's why my curiosity was there, and I wanted to have a look and see how the phone will perform on 4G LTE. Anyways, using my regular stuff guys, as you know, those of you who follow me regularly, you know I'm a very heavy user of smartphone. I just don't look at the screen and start counting screen minutes and hours to give you guys a good screen on time. I'd rather use the phone properly in a full-fledged manner and then show you a real world use stats. Anyways, Google Plus, as you can see, Swift keyboard, one of my favorite, Facebook, social media and everything. And after the battery went down to 48% guys, and a total on time of 8 hours and 29 minutes, I was able to achieve, as you can see, 4 hours and 18 minutes of screen on time. Now this is very, very amazing, and this is the kind of screen on time guys you normally get from regular flagship phones these days, where you have a Quad HD screen phone with a 5.5 inch screen, and you are getting around 4 hours and just over 4 hours of screen on time. Whereas here the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3 was outstanding, and down when, like I said, went down to 48%, it was able to give me 4 hours and 18 minutes, and this is on 4G LTE, not even Wi-Fi. So I was pretty shocked, pretty amazed how much stamina Xiaomi had in their phone. We know the battery is bigger, but I've known phones with bigger batteries and not giving you that much of screen on time on 4G LTE. So I was very, very shocked, and I really wanted to see how far will this go. Okay, so I kept using it guys, down to 6%, and I was able to achieve at the end, after pretty heavy use, as you can see the blue lines here, which are clearly indicating how heavy I was on the phone, and I was constantly playing and doing social media and stuff, and do whatever I could to make sure that I was actually using the phone and not just sitting on the phone looking at the screen and trying to get the best screen on time. I was able to achieve, believe me or not, 7 hours and 30 minutes of screen on time, and this is purely on 4G LTE. Like I said guys, not even flagship phones from 2015-16 can produce this kind of SSD on Wi-Fi, let alone 4G LTE. So a thumbs up from my side to Xiaomi for giving us a very huge battery in still a smallish body, and also very good optimizations, which definitely help the cause as well. Okay, so again down to 4%, and I was with a mixed use, a bit of 4G and Wi-Fi as well, as you can see, guys. And at times you can see in the graph there's some spaces there. Now I work in an area, guys, where at times there's no signal, so I prefer to turn the airplane mode on. It's a good practice, because if you don't turn the airplane mode on, and if you're in a weak area or an area where there's no signal, you will most probably drain more battery out of your phone. So it's as a tip, make sure if you're in an area where there's weak signal or no signal at all, please turn your airplane mode on, otherwise your battery will drain quicker. Of course, you will not receive calls in that case, which pretty much is airplane mode is all about. And I was able to achieve, guys, 9 hours and 4 minutes. Now here, as you can see in the graph, mostly I was using Wi-Fi, so this is more or less a Wi-Fi stat and not 4G LTE. Occasionally, every now and then, I did switch on to 4G because I was out and about for a few minutes, but mostly I was on Wi-Fi. And after 1 day and 9 hours, I was able to achieve 9 hours and 4 minutes of screen on time, and this is the highest I've had on any phone, guys, I've ever owned. And trust me, I've owned many phones over the years, but this is probably the highest screen on time I have had on any other phone ever owned. Okay, so then I also I'm completely aware of the fact that it's a big battery, and I was watching reviews of Geeky Ranjit and C4E Tech, who complained that the phone charges slowly. So I wanted to make sure that I do my test and see how long will it take for the phone to charge, because obviously it's a 4000 mAh battery, and apparently the phone supports quick charging. I was using a Qualcomm certified quick charger from Oki, which I've used on my other phones, and I was able to, around 5%, I put it 11:47 on charge, and when I went on to 12:54 and battery up to 46%. So I was able to, just over an hour, I was able to achieve almost 50% of battery life from a quick Qualcomm quick charge. So decent enough speeds, not too bad, but obviously it's a big battery, so you won't expect it to charge really quick. But it wasn't as quick as I expected, but still decent enough. And then at about 1:01, I had to, guys, unplug the phone because I was a bit busy, and that's why when in fact it was 12:54, I plugged my phone off from the charger, and I came back at 1:01, and I quickly put it back on because I was collecting stats as I was testing the phone and charging the phone at the same time. So at 1:01, I plugged it back in, and it went up to 99% at around 2:37 at night, in early hours of the morning. So I would say just over around hour and a half, so hour and a half and half an hour from before. So it takes about, guys, 2.5 hours for the battery to charge fully from 5% to 99%. So I would say that the findings reported by Geeky Ranjit and C4E Tech are pretty much on par with what I'm finding here as well. So about 2.5 hours it takes for the phone to charge, and if the phone was completely drained out, I would say probably 2 hours and 45 minutes, or maybe 3 hours, depending on what kind of charger are you using. Okay, then again, guys, I was from this moment onwards, I was using the phone on mix throughout my testing, because I was pretty comfortable and pretty happy with the 4G LTE and also the Wi-Fi results. So I really wanted to put the phone in a scenario where most people would be using Wi-Fi and 4G LTE, a mixed kind of use. So from this moment onwards, all my stats are 4G LTE and also Wi-Fi, pretty much the same, guys. Streaming music from SoundCloud on my Bluetooth, Facebook, social media, making phone calls and stuff, guys. And I was able to achieve, when the battery was down to 51%, after using it for 15 hours, I was able to achieve 2 hours and 34 minutes of screen on time. Now this is comparatively less as compared to what we saw earlier, and the reason for that is because I was also using 4G LTE and along with Wi-Fi. So if you're going to be using more 4G LTE, obviously you're not going to get that kind of stats. But you must be thinking, the ones I showed you earlier, the very first 4G LTE stat, how was that possible? Well, I don't know how was that possible, guys, but I've never been able to achieve that kind of screen on time. Again, it was only the first time I achieved it, and ever since then I've been able to achieve around 5-6 hours of screen on time on 4G LTE. But it was something, maybe it was the update which made the difference, I don't know what it was, but still, with 4G LTE and 2 hours and 34 minutes of screen on time, going further down, and after 22 hours and 57 minutes, a total screen on time of 5 hours and 8 minutes is still a decent run. But I think the update might have made a bit of a difference to the overall screen on time, but still very good performance and a very respectable performance from a huge big battery. And you will see further, I'll be getting more updates from I got more updates from Xiaomi, and that again made a difference to the phone. Anyways, once again at the start, guys, down to 4%, same regular usage. 22 hours and 3 minutes, and I was able to achieve 5 hours and 50 minutes of screen on time, which is better than the one I showed you just a little while ago. So again, a fluctuation in screen on time, but still very, very respectable. If you look at the graph carefully, guys, you will see plenty of 4 Wi-Fi, plenty of 4G LTE as well. Apart from the few hours I was sleeping, I was constantly having the phone. Like I said, guys, I'm a YouTuber. I get lots of emails, a lot of notifications on my Instagram, Google Plus, Facebook, so there's no way I can just sit on the phone and start counting hours and minutes. I actually use the phone properly to give you guys real world usage. Anyways, 5 hours and 50 minutes of screen on time, once again very, very nice, and staying close to 6 hours. And this is something I kept on getting, guys, which I'll discuss in my future videos. I'll be doing a full review on the phone, and I will explain you this why this message kept on popping up every now and then. Okay, again, down to 6%, pretty much the same use, guys. Social media mostly, streaming Bluetooth music and stuff. And after 1 day and 5 hours of screen of total time, I was able to achieve 5 hours and 51 minutes of screen on time. Once again, very, very close to 6 hours of screen on time. As you can see, the graph shows here, guys. I was on Wi-Fi and 4G LTE as well, and pretty much having the phone apart from the time I was either busy or sleeping. So I was able to achieve almost 6 hours of screen on time. Once again, okay, now here I tested the standby times, guys. I really wanted to see if I was to leave the phone for 6, 7, 8 hours, how much battery would be drained during standby. Well, I'm happy to report that standby times are pretty decent. At 3:53 in the morning, guys, I left the phone fully charged at 100%, and when I got up actually in the morning around 8:28, the battery was still at, as you can see in the video, 100%. So the battery drain is not present at all in standby mode, and it's a very, very decent respectable performance. Even if it was 1 or 2% loss, still would be good enough, but to lose nothing at all, it was quite decent. In general, even when I don't leave the phone at 100%, say if I was leaving the phone around 60%, 50%, still when I used to come back after a few hours, I only had lost 1%. So very good on standby drain, and not as much as bad as on many devices we have seen over the years. Okay, again, guys, down to 52%, and here I was using a lot of YouTube. As you can see, almost 6% of YouTube of the total usage, so pretty heavy. And I wanted to see if I was to stream YouTube, how would it affect the overall performance of the phone when it comes to screen on time. With Wi-Fi, 4G LTE mixed usage, guys, I was able to achieve 2 hours and 54 minutes of screen on time, when the phone was down to 52%. I kept on carrying on, guys. This message again came up again, which I will, like I said, discuss with you in my full review. Again, down to 29%, guys, and here I was able to achieve, after 1 day and 9 hours of pretty much having the phone all day long. As you can see, the blue line shows that I was constantly on the phone. I was able to achieve 5 hours and 41 minutes of screen on time, which is at, by the way, 29%. So this would have easily given me over 7 hours of screen on time from the way the battery is. And I tell you what, when using the phone, the battery doesn't drain as quick as you would see on normal regular phones. Like for instance, you see on often on HTC phones, the battery dies down very quickly. On LG phones, especially on the LG G3 and the LG G4, often when you use it heavily on 4G LTE, the battery drains quicker. Whereas on Xiaomi, it takes forever to even 1% to go down. So it's very, very encouraging and very, very nice to see for a phone to hold the stamina in a proper, strong way. So 5 hours and 41 minutes, guys, as you can see, are down to 29%, and this would have easily given me over 7 hours of screen on time. Again, as you can see, down to 8%, guys, and I was after 1 day and 12 hours, I was able to achieve 7 hours and 32 minutes of screen on time, and this was with mixed use of Wi-Fi and 4G LTE both. As you can see, guys, I'm constantly clearing over a day. So this is me using the phone heavily. So if you're a moderate user, you just make phone calls, receive text messages, WhatsApp, Facebook, just emails, and use the phone for every few hours every day, this phone can last you 2 days very, very easily. All these stats that I've collected are basically based upon full, heavy, proper use, like not leaving the phone alone apart from the time when I slept, as the graph shows. So with heavy use, it lasting me over a day. I think with moderate use, you'll be probably getting 2 days, maybe more, depending upon how you use it. I think this phone can go even for 3 days, to be honest, if you were to really use it very moderately. Okay, again, here 10:26, guys, and I think again tested the standby times. At 10:26, I left the phone fully charged on 100%, and when I got up in the morning at 4:31, it was still at 100%. So once again, like I said, no issues on standby battery drain, so well done Xiaomi for that. Then I got another update, guys. This was 7.2, by the way, 7.2 MIUI. This is the newer version, which I'm running currently at the moment. But before, when the phone came out of the box, like I showed you earlier, it was running MIUI 7.1 and not 7.2. So I got the 7.2 as well, and I'm hoping at some point I will get the lollipop as well. Once I get the lollipop on MIUI, guys, I will do a video straight away, and I will discuss the changes with you, and I will let you know if there are any issues to battery or any sort of other changes to the system performance overall. So as you can see, guys, lots of changes. These guys have, this is the Xiaomi culture, which I have, never been before. This is my very first Xiaomi phone, and I'm surprised that these guys actually release OT updates every week. Ever since I had the phone, guys, almost every other week I've been getting an OT update, and not small updates like 30-40 meg, proper 100 plus or close to 200 meg. This is something new. And I was talking to someone the other day, one of my subscribers, and he says he had an MI5. He was telling me that this is Xiaomi culture, and they release OT updates very frequently, which is very heartening to see. As long as it doesn't bug the phone, or it doesn't get the phone into trouble, or as long as the battery life doesn't get affected or the performance doesn't get affected, then I'll be more than happy to receive all these OT updates. Okay, now, like I said, guys, go through this long log. You can go through it, so you can pause the video, you can have a look yourself if you're interested. But anyways, I'll move on further because this is obviously a battery video. Okay, down to 5%, and I was able to achieve, after 1 day and 22 hours, I was able to achieve, guys, 6 hours and 35 minutes of screen on time, which is again not too bad. Keeping in mind how heavy I use, and you can see here mostly I was using 4G LTE and less of Wi-Fi, and still I was able to achieve 6 hours and 35 minutes. Not what I achieved from the very first day, guys. Funny enough, I couldn't achieve 7.5 hours again on 4G LTE, but I'm pretty sure it's down to the place where I work. Often the signal goes completely off, and that at times that I forget to put the phone on airplane mode. But if you're in optimal conditions, I'm sure with a good strong 4G LTE signal, you can cross 7 hours of screen on time on this phone very, very easily without any issues. Again, 9%, guys, after 1 day and 9 hours, and I was able to achieve 6 hours and 41 minutes of screen on time. So after the second update, guys, the battery has started to give even better results. And after the second update, after the first OT update, the battery went a bit funny, and it wasn't clearing more than 5.5, as you saw. But after the second OT update, I was able to achieve even better screen on time than the second time. So not too bad, decent enough performance. Again, 5%, and after 2 days of usage, and this is where I got the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, guys. Those of you who follow me on YouTube, you must have seen several videos from me about the S7 Edge, and because I was using the S7 Edge more, so I took a bit of a back step on the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3, and I wanted to see if I was to be using another phone and leave the Xiaomi phone alone and use it moderately, how much would I be able to achieve. And you can see I was easily able to go past the 2 day mark, and it says on the screenshot here 2 days and 7 hours of usage, and I was able to achieve a total screen on time of 6 hours and 9 minutes. So like I said, guys, if you just take it a bit easy on the phone, it is very, very easy on this phone to pass the 2 day mark, whether you are using 4G LTE or you're using Wi-Fi. It's guaranteed that if you use the phone moderately, as you can see, you will be able to achieve more than 2 days of using this phone with plenty of screen on time. So guys, this was it. This was my findings. I hope you find the video useful, and I've shown you everything, and I will be doing a battery performance video on the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. I also have the S7 on me, so I'll be comparing both the phones and their battery lives as well, because that's the only difference between the S7 and the S7 Edge. Anyways, Xiaomi, I'll be doing a full review on this. I'll be giving you recently somebody asked me this to give them an MIUI tour. I'll be giving you a full tour of MIUI, guys, and showing you what the MIUI is all about, because this is my very first time, and I wanted to show you to all those people out there who are looking to see what MIUI is all about. I'll be discussing the pros and cons both in a full review as well. So guys, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. Any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comment section, and like always, please guys, subscribe as it helps, and I shall see you in the next video.